So, what are they going to talk about? Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, I want to talk about relationships because I know some really, really fabulous. Just some really fabulous people, some fabulous girls, and one of my friends, she had gotten married, and I was at her wedding. She's an amazing woman. She's a really spiritual and very intelligent, very intuitive, and beautiful girl. She's gorgeous. And she married a wonderful man. You know, I don't know him that well, but from what I've seen, he's really nice and wonderful as a person. And I think halfway into the year, like half a year later, well, I found out that she said she had gotten divorced. I don't know if they've separated or actually divorced, but they're no longer together. They're not on speaking terms. And it kind of really, I hear a lot of stories where people are experiencing a falling out of love. You know, this is not the first person that I've heard. There are wonderful people out there who are very, very spiritual people, and they're just falling out of love, you know, with their significant other. And I don't know if I have an answer for that, but I want to talk about it because I've discovered something in my own path, is that when we start to know ourselves, we start to see the world in almost a more sensitive way, where we're seeing what other people are not seeing. We're also seeing where they're making mistakes. And part of our perhaps upbringing, or part of our innate ability, is to try to help others. You know, we try to share what we know with others so that we can help them grow and help affect them. And I think, especially with women, that we really want to help our significant other be a better person or grow into a better person. And what happens with that is that we unconsciously throw our energy onto them. We basically start hovering our own energies on top of theirs. And we're no longer in our own bodies. We're no longer seeing our what we need to see. We start to see what they're not doing right, you know, what they're missing and what they're lacking. And so with that energy, when you start to live like that, you become very unhappy as a person, because you're no longer in balance with yourself, and you start to hover in somebody else's business. You kind of live in their life. You're trying to live their life for them. And that's what a lot of mothers do for their kids, is that they try to live their life for them. They try to tell them what they need to choose and why they need to go this way and why they can't do this. And they're no longer in their own bodies. They're outside of their bodies. They're in other people's businesses. And so nobody likes to be, you know, kind of forced to do certain things. I mean, they have their own right to choose whatever, even if it's a mistake, they have their right to choose. And what happens as women, in trying to love others in their best, you know, of course they always mean the best, they mean well, best of intentions, but what happens is they start to use their energy to try to control somebody else's behavior and their choices. And that in itself is like a cancer cell, in which it is trying to replicate itself beyond it does not know its own boundaries anymore. It just tries to replicate, clone, be like me, learn like me, I'm right, and, I know what's best. And so, with that thought, it is no longer in balance. And once a person is no longer in balance, first of all, they're not happy. And the other person's not happy because they're getting encroached upon. They're now losing their space, So I think that happens a lot in relationships, is that we try to change that person for the better, or we try to influence that person for the better, but it's really, we forgot to appreciate the differences, We forgot to appreciate that person for whatever he or she is, Because sometimes it is the differences that we fall in love, and but we always have this self-righteous side of us that want to have others to be just like us. We just think this is so good for us. We just want everyone to take the same medication, but everyone is very different, and everyone needs a different hand, a different, different way. And we each have an innate and built-in ability to heal ourselves, to find our own path, and we have to trust that. We can't just say, we have to trust that the universe knows what it's doing, and that all of us are very intelligent human beings. And if we stop trusting that, we will start to take over everyone's job, and that makes us very unhappy as people, because we start to lose out balance. We start to neglect ourselves, and once you start to take back the energy, you stop trying to encroach upon their energy, and you stop trying to make them a better person, then the energy comes back to you, and you start to see that all those things that you said to the other person about how they need to change and this and that, you can apply it to yourself. You can directly apply it to yourself, and that most of the time, 99% of the time, it really does. This is exactly what you need to hear. Perhaps that person was magnifying it for you like 100 times, and you only have 10% of that in your system. But that 10% of whatever you were hating on in the other person is the exact thing that would help you if you change yourself, So the medicine that you're trying to give other people are the exact medicine that you need to take yourself. And that's what I've discovered. And it's wonderful, I might add. I just love it. Okay, so there's I was doing this one activity or game that I don't know if I made this up, or if I don't even know where I got this from. I might have seen something similar somewhere else, but I couldn't quite remember. I mean, just something that came to me. And what it was that anything that we thought of the other person, for example, we thought, okay, he's such a pig, he's so lazy. So whenever we have that thought, we notice it, we write it down, and after you write it down, you put a cross over it, and then you would write beneath it, how can I be more productive? The opposite of lazy, okay, so productive. So how can I be more productive? As a question to yourself. And you never have to answer it, but just erase what you thought of the other person, because they've just notified you that there's laziness going on in your arena. It could be him, it could be you. Who knows? You don't know for sure, because you're the one who's looking. So being the watcher, the viewer, you need to notice that, okay, you saw that, note it, and cross it out, because that might not be true, but it could apply to you. How could I be more productive? Even more so. Maybe I'm very productive already, but there's another point of me that is kind of like a little lazy. So, just do that with everything that you assume or criticize about others. Apply it to yourself. Okay, so am I lazy? Perhaps I am a little bit lazy. Okay, so how can I be less lazy? How can I be more productive? And it's a really fun game, because you bring the energy back to yourself. and you realize that you have the power and the control to change your life for the better. I love you. Okay. Have a fabulous, miraculous day.